Bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right, good evening, everyone. Fade to Black, Bespoke Radio for the masses. Today's Wednesday. It is June 1st. 153 days into the new year. Just 211 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your so humble host, Jimmy Church. Yeah. What's cracking, everybody? It is Wednesday, not Thursday. This is not the Mandela effect. It is indeed Wednesday. Open lines. And yes, Jon Rappoport will be here at the bottom of the hour with his No More Fake Newsroom. Man, that guy is good, isn't he? It's going to be open lines all night long. Tomorrow night is going to be a best of replay. Write that down on your calendars. You're probably going to want to listen to tonight's show anyway, so maybe we'll just do this. Then Friday night, we're going to be broadcasting live from Contact in the Deserts. A couple of cool things today. Rita and I taking care of business, before we split town. And we, started to make some arrangements with some very special guests for Friday night at Contact in the Desert that you would never expect. And it's cool. So I'm not going to say anything. I just want to save it. So we're going to save it. There you go. You're just going to have to wait. But very excited. Very cool. We got a great show lined up for everybody Friday night out there in Joshua Tree. And with that, let's just get this show cracking. Let's go. Tonight is Fader Night. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045. Jon Rappoport will be with us in 25 minutes at the bottom of the hour. You can follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Facebook is Jimmy Church Radio. YouTube is, I think that is just called Fade to Black. I could be wrong. It might be KJCR Fade to Black. Fade to Black. I'm not so sure on that one because I just click on it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's KJCR Fade to Black or just Fade to Black. Go and do it now. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. Simple enough to do, too. And you can also go to our contact page over at Jimmy Church Radio, and you can do so there. Remember back in the old days, right? It said something like, where we use special servers, especially encrypted servers. Oh, man, I miss the old days. I use hashtag F2B. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. And hashtag F2BQ is questioned during the show. I do keep Twitter live to my left throughout the show. Everything is happening. And let me do this. Let me open up the Spreaker chat room because they're usually, they're already going over there. Good evening. You remember the old cartoon with, I think it was like a dog Was it two dogs? And they would get together in the morning? Or is it like a sheep and a dog? Hello, Frank. Hello, Bob. And they would use their time cards, right? Am I having a Mandela effect right now? Where they would punch in. They had their lunch boxes and like a thermos full of coffee, right? And then would go sit on the hill. And man, that's what's going on right now over in the Spreaker chat room. Good evening. Hey, guys. How you doing? Hey, Gene. Hey, Tina. Hey, James. Hey, Deanna. Sky, Ed, James. Everybody's over there saying hello to each other. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go. If you want to support the show, and you should, because this is America, you need to support our sponsors. And Life Change Tea will change your life. It is just amazing stuff. I got the whole family hooked. It's great because it works. It really changes you, and it doesn't matter. And everybody knows what I do. I do the moringa. I do the moringa liquid. I do the moringa pills. I do the colostrum water delivery, or whatever they call that, the powder, and the vanilla. It's amazing. It's good stuff. Tastes good. And I do the colostrum pills, too, as well, which I did late last night because I ran dry of my powder. Just go to getthetea.com. The banner is right there, Jimmy Church Radio. Use the promo code Jimmy when you check out. Get free shipping on your order. They always have great specials over there. Our sponsor, Studio Dome, their system, a high-fidelity, hi-fi, TWS, true wireless stereo, Bluetooth system. It's two SBB2 full-range speakers in stereo in a hard shell case for $129. Use the promo code JCRTWS when you order, and you will save 60% off the normal price of $399 and still get free shipping. Best deal anywhere, period. Contact in the Desert, we leave tomorrow. We'll be out there tomorrow night, and or tomorrow afternoon, but we'll be out there and kick things off, well, sort of tomorrow night, but then, of course, Friday night we're broadcasting live. Saturday there's events going on all day long, and it's going to be great. We got the new T-shirts. Have you guys seen the new T-shirts? Rita, have you posted the new T-shirts? Do it today. Get that up. They look good. I was just over in Rita's studio looking at the new shirts, man, and I thought the old ones could not be topped. And I told Rita that, too. I said, no matter what we do, the OG shirts, man, I mean, seriously, that's where it's at. But, man, these new shirts look really, really, really good. And I'm proud. So we'll have those and other stuff. Now, I want to remind everybody that Friday we're broadcasting live. We'll be up in the vendor area. I am hosting a bunch of lectures and events around. So, I'm going to be running around doing that stuff. But we will be set up in the vendor area right in front of the sanctuary, and I have the feeling that's going to be the go-to point. That's going to be the meeting point where we will always be able to find each other, okay? And then Friday night, behind the sanctuary, behind the dome, is the Lotus Room, where we broadcasted from last year. That's a great facility, and I'm glad that they were able to get us in there in that room again this year. So that's where we're going to broadcast live from, behind the Lotus Room on Friday night. Okay, and that's it. It's here. Contact in the Desert. Roswell Festival, June 30th through July 3rd. That's also, I know it's kind of hard to believe, but that's coming up on us really quick, too. And then right after that, the Awareness Life Expo at the Crowne Plaza Hotel up in Sacramento, California. And that's August 13th through the 14th. Let's get this show cracking. Today, Alanis Morissette is 42. Did you know she plays God in the movie Dogma? Did you guys know that? She plays God. in Dogma. Brian Cox, one of my favorite actors, one of Rita's favorites too. Today, he's 70 years old. You know Brian Cox, he played the dean in the movie Rushmore. We just saw him play this gnarly movie about the Knights Templar. And it's called, and the Knights Templar, like 7 of them, have to go and hold this castle. And Brian Cox plays the bad guy. Oof, man. If you haven't seen it, somebody should post that. I forget what that movie is called, but man, I'm talking about arms getting pulled out, not fingernails. Gnarly. Ronnie Bleepin' Wood today is only 69. Morgan Freeman today is 70. And our dead guy's birthday today is Marilyn. That's right. 1926 to 1962. Died at the age of 36. Starred in the classic comedies like Some Like It Hot. And just propelled her. She was the most famous woman in the world. Yeah, she was. Well, probably was. I think she was. Her other films include The 7-Year Itch and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Some Like It Hot was hilarious. Personal struggles took a hold, and she died of an overdose of barbiturates at the young age of 36. There you go. Happy birthday, Marilyn. On this day in history, 1967, big day, the Beatles released Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And I was late. I was late to the Beatles thing. I didn't get the Beatles growing up. I didn't get the Stones growing up. I didn't get a lot of things growing up. I just wanted the heavy metal, man. I just wanted Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and little Ted Nugent back in the day. But that's where I was at growing up. And the Beatles were soft. You know, the Stones were soft. And I just didn't get it. I regret it now. I understand. I do. But Grateful Dead still are on, not in the car. Fader fact. Are you ready? Ironclad. That is the movie. Bloke from Oz, Mark Tarana. Ironclad. I'm telling you, Brian Cox. Check that movie out. If you want to see a Knights Templar movie and see something really cool, there's the new T-shirts. Hey, Ree, you need to post a picture of the real T-shirts. Yeah, well, that is, did we do the autograph on it? Did we do that? Man, bring one of those in here. Let me see it. I don't remember the autograph. That's cool. Did we do that? I don't remember. It's the Mandela effect. Full on. Fader fact. Are you ready? This is trippy. Fader fact. The human brain named itself. Yeah, that is a fact. The human brain named itself. Write that down. You can use it tomorrow. Just give me a little credit on it. Yeah, what was the name of this cartoon, Les? Was that it? I don't remember the Wile E. Coyote. Was it the Wile E. Coyote? But there's the lunchboxes for sure. That was a good. Okay, yeah, I want to see the T-shirt. Okay, I'm looking at it here. Is the autograph there? Rita just posted. I guess or is that another version with the autograph? I don't know what's going on. Okay, there you go. Let's do this. Tonight is a very special Fader night. We will have Jon Rappoport in here in a few minutes. Tomorrow night's a best of replay. Friday night, we're going to be broadcasting live from Contact in the Desert. That is the place where everybody is going to want to be. Be there. Tickets are still available. If you want to go, get in the car and go. If you're in Southern California, road trip. Go and do it. Palm Springs, just head up the hill. San Diego, you're right here. Santa Barbara, you're right here. San Francisco, just drive. Get to Contact in the Desert. It is going to be a great event. Now, what I wanted to do is tonight on the show, I want to talk about the Mandela effect. I know I spent some time with it yesterday, but I was messing with Rita all day long today and after the show, and I thought I was going to get my booty kicked because I just kept going, man, it's the Mandela effect, Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to do this or this? Well, I thought we decided on this. Well, we didn't. I know we did, but that's the Mandela effect. You don't remember. Timeline shift. And I pushed it as far as I could push it. But the Mandela effect, my friends, is starting to mess with my brain. Because the more that I think about it, and the more that I look back, and the more, and she's Rita's looking, are you really doing this? I'm just like, look, I don't understand certain things. I just have a memory. And I told Rita about the space shuttle years before the Mandela effect was even a word. Okay, he didn't die until 2013, so there was no Mandela effect before then. People may have thought about it. But as time has gone, I just look at this and I'm starting to kind of trip out. Starting to trip just a little bit. Got a list here. And I want to talk about this tonight. Rita just says, the day isn't over yet. I remember everything. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. She remembers the alternate timeline. And I don't. I just, it's bizarro. So I don't remember what she remembers. And we are constantly, daily talking about one of us had forgotten something. And I know for a fact, Rita forgets everything. So, but I just don't say anything about it. I have to preserve the family unit. But the Mandela effect it's real. I just don't know what's causing it. I don't think we can move on past the Mandela effect theory. Take theory up. The Mandela effect itself is real. Now, I don't know if it is the media, television, personalities, and such that constantly drone us with an alternative version that isn't real, has nothing to do with time travel or timelines, but we keep it, it's pounding into us, so we just accept it as being real. I don't know. Mirror, mirror on the wall, everybody knows it's mirror, mirror on the wall. And when you turn to somebody and go, oh, well, actually she said magic mirror. That's devastating to them. It's just like, wait, no, it's impossible. It's mirror, mirror. Now, who and when started the mirror, mirror? Where did it, to the point where that it is a part of popular culture? Crazy Stepmom said, mirror, mirror on the wall. That's what we know, and that's what we accept as reality. But there's a lot of other examples. Yes, we've talked about the Berenstain Bears, or the Berenstein Bears. Is it Berenstein or Berenstain? What's your memory? Well, everybody remembers Berenstein, but it's actually Berenstain. How about, do you remember Billy Graham's funeral on TV? Who remembers Billy Graham's funeral on TV? The evangelist. I'll just watch this in Twitter right now. Who remembers that? Do you remember what year it happened? Who remembers Billy Graham's funeral? I'm going to watch Twitter. Let's I'm going to watch the chat rooms too. Okay. Who remembers Billy Graham's funeral? What year was it? What year was it? Well, this is what's crazy. He's still alive. Okay, that's how about Curious George? Did Curious George have a tail? Did he have a tail or not? Do you remember? I remember Curious George having a tail. Do you remember? He didn't. He never had a tail. How about this one? Here's another one for you. Berenstein. He had a damn tail. No, he did not. Sam and Ralph. Thank you for that. Sam and Ralph. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Ralph. And you remember the lunch bell that would go off? Okay. No, he never had a tail. How about You remember the portrait of King Henry VIII with him with a big turkey leg in his hand? Remember that? We've all seen it. Now, you know what was strange about that portrait? Who remembers? I swear Curious George had a tail. No, he did not. Did not have a tail. But who remembers that famous King Henry VIII painting with him with the turkey leg? Right? I'm watching. You guys remember that. It's a crazy painting, right? Big, fat King Henry VIII with the turkey leg. Well, guess what? That painting does not exist and never has. It's never existed. How about, do you guys remember Jiffy peanut butter? Remember Jiffy peanut butter? Right? Never existed in any form. It wasn't called Jiffy. It was Jif. You think it was Jiffy peanut butter at one time, and they just shortened the name to Jif. I know what you're thinking, but it didn't exist. Look at Curious George, no tail. Right there. Thank you. I love Twitter. These are examples of the Mandela effect. I don't know. Why would they do this? You know, I don't know. It's crazy. We all, if you go back and you start, oh, look. King Henry VIII of the turkey leg. That's good. That's funny. That's funny. Little Photoshop. But, yes, Brian, I realize that. Yeah. Jif peanut butter. I realize that. And Jiffy popcorn. Jiffy popcorn. I'll give you a couple of others. How about the Lindbergh baby? Right? Charles Lindbergh, the famous kidnapping, right? The baby was never found. Right? We know this. That was the big thing. The baby was found. It was found on May 12th, 1932. But our memories of Curious George with a tail, it's just wrong. Pin the tail on George. Oh, that's funny. That's funny stuff. You know, and he's so right how we make up things on our own that seem right in our heads but aren't correct. Yeah, that's from John Murphy. Well, I'm not making it. I mean, but yeah. And what's the intention of doing this? Like the Lindbergh baby. How about Mother Teresa? Was she a saint before 2016? I always remember her, sainthood for Mother Teresa, and that they pulled it off. I didn't realize that it just happened. Now, also, I thought she became a saint like in 1990 or something, 91. I don't know why, but I always thought that she made it. But also was the spelling of her name. There's no H. Her name is Teresa, and I always thought it was Teresa with an H. Man, that just messes with my head. So that's the Mandela effect. And I really, Jiffy Lube. Rita goes with Jiffy Lube. San Diego with all Carmen San Diego. Who was that? You mean Carmen Miranda? Carmen San Diego with an all-yellow costume. I don't remember that. That one you got me on. This is Fade to Black. That's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about time travel and the Mandela effect. I want to hear your memories that are changed. Just certain things. I don't know what they could be, but let's go there. But there's another part. I want to hear from you. Why? Why would they be doing this? And why would some of us remember and some of us don't? And are they, I'll give you an example. When we look at different logo colors that change, like Chevron or Pepsi or, these logo, these global marks that change over time, are those timestamps? I mean, what's the reason? And there has to be some ideas put out there that this is going on and why are they doing it. I am such a fan of time travel. I talk about it all the time. And the one thing that I'm firm about, I am 100% firm about, if I was a time traveler and I went 1,000 years in the future, I went 100 years in the future, right? I don't want people to know. I've got to run in with the invisibility cloak on, right, from Lord of the Rings. Because if anybody finds out, A, I'm now famous, and B, I probably would be killed, and C, I would mess up what's going on back here, right? You got to run, you've got to be invisible. And if I went back in time, it would be the same thing. You can't stand out. You've got to run in the shadows. So what would the purpose be? Well, that's why in our timeline, that's why, I mean, that's the rule that cannot be broken. That's why we don't see or talk to time travelers. It would be too upsetting. In the timelines, paradoxes, crumbling of civilizations and everything else. So that's why. Well, why don't we see time travelers? Well, I can give you 100 reasons, but there's 3. Now, why would you want to go? Look, if somebody came back here and they needed the news, they came from the future, or they came from the past, and they came to here. Well, you know what? Go to the mountains, plug in a computer, jump on the net, because they're going to know about computers. They're going to know how to do all that. That's it. That's not their first time that they've been here. They're going to listen to TV or watch TV, listen to the radio, jump on the net, cop the news that they need to go and go, okay, this is what happened, and split. There's no reason to hang out. Nobody's going to go watch the NBA Finals. Well, they might. But that's not why they would be here. And that it's so interesting to me how the Mandela effect could be just that. What if these little things in life are getting changed? That's it. Little things. And then 15, 20 years later, we look back and go, wait a minute, that's not how it, no, that's not what's going on here. I remember Curious George with a friggin' tail. I don't know why he doesn't have a tail now, but he had a tail then. And then you go back and you look at the videos and you watch and you look at the books and he doesn't have a tail. That's because they went back and changed it. But some of us remember the old Curious George. That's all that I'm trying to say here. It is an interesting theory, which I think is real. I really do. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Let me get out of here because I got to get the man in himself, Jon Rappoport. It's Fade to Black. Open lines, 323-825-5045. We're doing open lines tonight because tomorrow we're going to be on the road out to Joshua Tree and Contact in the Desert. Tomorrow night is going to be an open lines, a best of replay. An open line. Best of replay. Friday night, we're going to be broadcasting live from Contact in the Desert. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with Jon Rappoport. Stay right there.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I got to tell you, it was a relief. National Tax Experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. Doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil 3-letter. So, seriously, give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Health in America is becoming a top priority. Or maybe I should say, good health in the world is becoming a top priority. Maintaining a healthy body can be challenging. How about letting Life Change Tea help you? Our tea you make, you drink, and you benefit. Our unique blend of 8 different herbs helps you maintain good digestion, a healthy colon, and detoxes harmful toxins and parasites out of your body. And you know what? It tastes great. If you're wanting a change, a life change when it comes to health, log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. When you log on to our mobile-friendly website, you can read all the numerous testimonies of how Life Change Tea has helped so many people. We carry many, many beneficial products that help your health and keep you on track. Getthetea.com. Kind of gets in your head, doesn't it? Getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station where the Fadernauts rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we expect to be true. That the world, as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth, is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash. They all go down, and we see the light of day, a new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Jon, take it away.
Thank you, Jimmy. Great to be here again. Tonight's topic is psychiatry, a very interesting subject indeed. But before I dive in, I just want to let all you listeners know that there's always a kind of a subtext in what I'm talking about here on the show, and that is how I'm doing it, uncovering these subjects and presenting them to you, in the sense that you could be doing it too. Why not? It just starts with something that kind of gets under your skin. You have a feeling about something. Something's not right. It doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't add up. Or conversely, something fantastic that you feel is happening, is not being covered, is not being reported. And that begins to get under your skin. Makes your blood boil a little. And so you decide, well, why not dig in? Why not find out more? Why not do some research? Why not lay it out? Why not write about it or talk about it on video? Why not post it, present it? Why not do it myself? Indeed, indeed, indeed. That is always the subtext here. Psychiatry is one of those things for me. It probably started with the experience of talking to a few of these folks. You know, the I know it and you don't folks. I've got the word, I've got the knowledge, you don't. So listen to what I have to say and follow my directions. Now, that never sat right with me. Never sat right. What's the attitude all about here? Why do they need to have an attitude? Didn't make sense. Didn't add up. So, I stuck my toe in the water. I began to look at this whole subject of mental disorders. Something's not right here. Why is it that all of a sudden we've got so many of them? Out of nowhere, it seems. They just kind of proliferate like fruit flies. And so I began to look at this thing called the DSM, which is the Bible of Psychiatry, published, of course, by the American Psychiatric Association, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, of which there are now roughly, get this, 300. 300 supposedly distinct mental disorders. How do they decide? How do they introduce these? Do they wave a magic wand? How has it happened that there's a new one today and a new one next year and 16 more? And where do they come from? So it turns out that they come from committees of psychiatrists who sit around and pick out clusters of behavior and put them together in different ways and then stick a label on them. That's how they decide. And that, of course, I couldn't let that one go by. I mean, how does this work? What are the tests? What are the diagnostic tests to determine whether or not a person has a particular mental disorder with a label on it? What kind of tests do they do? And so, my friends out there in the deep space of truth, what I discovered was that there are no tests at all. No definitive diagnostic tests for any of the mental disorders. Not one. Don't exist. You can read through the entire DSM looking for a physical diagnostic, a blood test, a urine test, a hair test, a brain scan, a genetic assay that would be the defining test for diagnosing any mental disorder, and you would not find a single one. Wow. That's called hitting pay dirt, folks. And I want to give you an example because it's quite wonderful. This comes from a PBS Frontline episode entitled, Does ADHD Exist? And the interviewer was speaking with a Dr. Russell Barkley, who was then an eminent professor of psychiatry and neurology at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center. And here's how this brief exchange went. PBS Frontline interviewer, skeptics say there's no biological marker that it, meaning ADHD, is the one condition out there where there is no blood test and that no one knows what causes it. And Barkley answers, that's tremendously naive, and it shows a great deal of illiteracy about science and about the mental health professions. A disorder doesn't have to have a blood test to be valid. If that were the case, all mental disorders would be invalid. There is no lab test for any mental disorder right now in our science. That doesn't make them invalid. Oh, indeed, Dr. Barkley, that does make them invalid, utterly and completely. All 297 mental disorders. If there is no test, no lab test, no diagnostic defining test, then we're working by speculation. That's indeed what has been happening throughout the history of psychiatry. And that, my friends, is called a blockbuster. Now, the usual reply to this is then, how come people are suffering? What's the problem? How come so many people seem to have so many problems? So let's just list a few of the reasons why. Severe nutritional deficits, abuse, bullying, bad family life, people, and this, of course, is something that you'll catch on to immediately, people who simply see reality in a different way. Chemical toxicities of various kinds, environmental chemicals, pesticides, toxic medical drugs, electronic pollution, poverty, unemployment, unsatisfactory relationships, toxins in foods, etc., etc., etc. You can add to this list. All of the more obvious reasons why people are suffering. So it isn't as if I'm saying, well, because these mental disorder categories are all invalid since there are no tests, that means people have no problems. Of course they have problems. And there are some of the reasons why. Now, I also want to get to this because this has been hyped and promoted to the sky throughout the recent history of psychiatry. All mental disorders stem from a chemical imbalance in the brain. And people, oh yeah, well of course, that must be it. They just grab onto that and hug it to their chests. But, let me give you something else here, which is wonderful and startling and strange and beautiful in its own way. Researchers have never established a normal baseline for chemical balance. Never has happened. So you see, they're shooting in the dark when they're talking about imbalance. And in the Psychiatric Times, a magazine journal of the psychiatric profession in 2011, an eminent person named Dr. Ronald Pies, who was the editor-in-chief emeritus of that journal, laid to rest, it was July 11, 2011, the whole idea of the chemical imbalance theory. And this is what he said. In truth, the chemical imbalance notion was always a kind of urban legend, never a theory seriously propounded by well-informed psychiatrists. In the past 30 years, I don't believe I've ever heard a knowledgeable, well-trained psychiatrist make such a preposterous claim about chemical imbalance in the brain, except perhaps to mock it. The chemical imbalance image has been vigorously promoted by some pharmaceutical companies, often to the detriment of our patients' understanding. That's what he wrote. The editor emeritus of Psychiatric Times. In other words, he just totally torpedoed the whole notion of the chemical imbalance theory of mental disorders. But what he was saying, in some respects, was completely absurd. First of all, and I'm quoting from one of my long articles that's recently been posted at No More Fake News. First of all, many psychiatrists have explained and do explain to their patients that the drugs are there to correct a chemical imbalance. And second, if all well-trained psychiatrists have known all along that the chemical imbalance theory is a fraud, then why on earth have they been prescribing tons of drugs to their patients, since those drugs are developed on the false premise that they correct a chemical imbalance? Boom, boom, boom. So you see, folks, that's what you get when you start digging. So what we're looking at here is this. Historically speaking, if you go back into the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, and so forth, you would have people being called heretics. Well, he's thinking this way. He's got these ideas and those ideas, and we don't like those ideas, and so we're going to call him a heretic. But now it's rather simple to just say he has a mental disorder. In fact, I'm sure that many of you, and of course yours truly, could be diagnosed with paranoia, oppositional defiance disorder, and such things, because we hold certain ideas to be true or likely that fall far outside the boundaries and parameters of the status quo and what is supposed to be normal and what is supposed to be, quote, real and what is supposed to be acceptable, you see. People who want to explore beyond the boundaries, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all, as it turns out. There is nothing wrong with you at all. There is nothing wrong with me. There are no mental disorder labels that can be arbitrarily placed upon our heads because we want to extend the parameters of investigation and even acceptance of certain data that other people don't want to, for whatever their reasons. They don't want to believe there's something strange and odd about the fact that this small planet called Earth has a very large satellite called the Moon that perhaps should be, according to some people, maybe 30 miles across instead of 2,160 miles across, and that therefore we should investigate this satellite to see what's really happening with it. Mental disorder? I think not. I think not. I think not at all. In fact, what we're looking at here, folks, is an operation or a covert op to diagnose, eventually, everybody with some mental disorder, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. In case you haven't noticed, this whole thing is spreading like wildfire. Mental screening for very young children. We have people saying that everybody should be screened for the possibility of having a mental disorder. Screened? How? There are no tests, no defining tests. Interviews with professionals who decide whether or not we have a mental disorder. Now we're getting into the red flag danger zone, seriously, and the basis of the covert op, which involves drugging with very toxic compounds, many of which I've analyzed and reported on at No More Fake News over the years, that debilitate people, make them more confused, have more problems, serious physical problems, that now preempt their ability to think straight, look around them and see what's going on, and perhaps even more important, a kind of a philosophy that descends down upon our very heads, indicating that our mental processes, our consciousness itself, is fraught with these disorders, which therefore places a limit, a ceiling on what we can apprehend and understand and explore and do and perceive. Because as I've indicated in prior reports on this show, what we're dealing with here is the reality that other people, the elites, paint for us, which then becomes, quote, normal, as opposed to the reality that we perceive and invent ourselves because we want a life that's better, different. That's a big difference. And so it turns out that the real core and bottom line of this covert op is to prevent the latter from happening, to make it impossible for populations, but really for individuals, to disentangle themselves from this gigantic kind of hypothesizing and theorizing presented as, quote, science, to escape from this whole notion of mental disorders and to give in and to say, well, I guess everybody's sick. Everybody has one of these disorders. We're all crazy in one way or another, and we just have to adjust to it and accept it and get used to it and put a low ceiling on what we can perceive. God forbid we should discover that we have paranormal abilities. I mean, that would be a certain sign that we have a mental disorder, you see. That's the operation. That's what's going on planet Earth. That is mind control par excellence to bring us to this conclusion that we're all very, very, very limited, and we all should be kind of automatic responders to events around us, and we should keep our heads down and look straight ahead and go forward, marching ahead, taking orders, obeying, and so on and so forth. And this is what psychiatry has become. The tool of this errant, perverse philosophy. That's just the way it is. And I'll wind up by recounting to you what a marvelous psychiatrist who has been torpedoing his own profession, Dr. Peter Breggin, has written and spoken about with me at length many times. And that is the deal that was cooked up roughly 45 years ago between the profession of psychiatry and the pharmaceutical companies, because at that time, psychiatry was dying out as a profession, because there were so many different versions of therapy and psychology and so forth that people were deserting psychiatry in droves because they felt, do I really want to sit down and talk to a psychiatrist about my problems? I mean, most of these people are kind of dead in the head. You know, I don't think this is going to be a very pleasant or profitable or useful experience. The profession was dying out, and meetings were held, and deals were made, and this was the basic deal. The pharmaceutical companies said, look, we will bankroll your profession, psychiatry. We will take out many, many, many ads in your journals. We will fund conferences. We will put money into professorships, research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We will take you off life support and bring you back. In return, what we want from you is the kind of research that will proliferate the number of mental disorders, above all. Expand more and more and more and more of these with their appropriate labels in a convincing way. And we will develop the drugs, of course, for each one of these mental disorders, which you will prescribe. And that was the deal that was struck. It wasn't something that just kind of accidentally evolved. It was a deal. It was made, it was stamped, signed, sealed, and delivered, and that is when psychiatry really took off. That is when talk therapy began to diminish and fade away, relatively speaking, and what you got instead was a much more brief interview followed by the prescription of a drug or drugs, which were and are invariably toxic. That I have documented in great detail over the years. So that's where we are. A very interesting subject to suddenly say, you know, there's something about this whole thing I don't really, just doesn't, no, I'm going to dig into this and find out what's actually going on. Well, this is a boiled-down version over the last 25 minutes of what could be a 17-hour presentation, but you get the bare bones of what's been happening and why it's happening and how it's happening. And so, that is tonight's episode from the No More Fake Newsroom.
Hey, John, I'm going to jump in and thank you for that, but wait a minute. How can there not be a blood test for psych disorders? That doesn't make any sense. So the diagnosis then is arbitrary.
Correct.
It is. You could have 20 different doctors making a diagnosis and quite possibly come up with 20 different. I mean, the possibilities are there, right?
Well, it wouldn't happen that way. You could get certain differences, yes, absolutely, among different psychiatrists, but they're following these menus of behaviors as set out in the DSM that I mentioned earlier, and they're looking at those and they're comparing that with the behavior of the patient.
But it's still opinion.
Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
opinion.
the whole thing is opinion because the menus of behaviors don't add up to anything scientific in the first place. Here's where you could get multitudes of differences. You and I could sit down and we could say, let's have a beer and let's go through, let's put down all kinds of human behaviors, just hundreds of them. And then let's begin to cluster them together in different ways. Let's take 6 of these and put them together over here and 7 are here and 8. And then let's say, look, if we see this cluster over here in a patient, we'll call it ooby-dooby-doo. And that's going to be a mental disorder. That's what they're doing. So the way that they've constructed this whole map is completely arbitrary. Yes, absolutely arbitrary.
It doesn't sound like it should be legal. I mean, it doesn't it doesn't quite feel right. And I would assume that most would think that there is something scientifically proven, through lab testing about what is actually going on here and what is causing it.
Most people do think that, but they're wrong.
Well, I thought that.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I see that all the time. I get emails from people whenever I publish about this. Yes, but you see, it's genetic. It's this, it's that. Sure, you can have any opinion you want to. But as far as proof is concerned, if that's what we're looking at, because, they're all claiming this is a science. This is not just some kind of airy-fairy, goofy thing here.
Right.
Okay, so show me the proof. And you heard from this interview with Russell Barkley, he's saying there is no lab test for any mental disorder. He just said it straight out. And he thought that he was being very, this is a sort of a special kind of knowledge that we have. It's a different kind of science. No, it's no science at all.
That's fascinating. And listen, I just have to ask you a question really quick. Fred Rogers, right? We all loved his show. Now, but in the opening theme song, which was called Won't You Be My Neighbor, right? Mm-hmm. You remember the line, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. How many times have you sung that song to yourself? 1 million, right? It was a toe tapper. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What if I told you it wasn't it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, that it was actually it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood? Would you believe me?
No.
Well, it was.
Wow.
Yes, and that
there you go.
That's the Mandela effect. Is that fascinating?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's a similar thing. Everybody knows that these mental disorders are scientifically valid and real, and that there are tests. And of course, yes, I mean, sure, but nope. Nope.
Jon Rappoport, you are the absolute very best, man. And I know I say it every single week, but I really mean it. Thank you so much for everything.
It's always great.
Yeah, thank you for everything that you do. Jon's website, of course, is nomorefakenews.com. Do it every single morning. Jon Rappoport, you are the best, man. You're a gift. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Jon Rappoport, taking your calls next, 323-825-5045. His website is No More Fake Newsroom or nomorefakenews.com. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's open lines from here on out. 323-825-5045. The Mandela effect is in full effect tonight.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of this product.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
To order your 2-month supply, call now toll-free 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you, and your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Very special presentation tonight of Open Lines. Tomorrow night's going to be a best of replay, everybody. We're going to be on the road. And then Friday night, we'll be back right here doing our broadcast Friday night from Contact in the Desert. And you are definitely going to want to tune in to that. Same time, everything's the same, 7 to 10 p.m. PST. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter right now at JChurchRadio. And it is open lines for the rest of the night, 323-825-5045. And I want to talk about the Mandela effect tonight. I've given so many different examples and talking about this over the last couple of days, and I have been contacted by so many people out there. Thank you, and lots of leads and sources and people to talk to. It's a very interesting idea, but I think it's real. I just don't know what's causing it. And there's a big difference there. Big, big, big. So phone lines are open, 323-825-5045. And what I want to hear from you when it comes to the Mandela effect, first I want to know if you've had any examples of that in some of the presentations or ideas that I've given. Have you had those same memories or lack of? But also, what do you think is causing it and why? That's the thing. You know, why? Why? What's going on? It's very interesting. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Cindy.
Hey, Cindy. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've had a Mandela effect thing happen, but it was a personal thing, something that I experienced myself from my own memories, which is I found really weird because I have a pretty darn good memory.
Right.
But I was reading something I wrote about 20 years ago, doing a diary type of thing. And I came across it about 2 months ago, and I was reading some of it, and I'm like, oh, my God, that's not the sequence of how things happened back then. You know, when I was writing it, it was something that had happened probably 20 years before that. And a couple of months ago, I'm like, well, wait a minute. It didn't happen like that.
Well,
it was my own memory that had changed.
Yeah. So what was it that you wrote down? You can't just come in and tease me. Okay.
But it's nothing big. Just kind of a sequence of like where I lived and the kind of stuff that was going on at the time. Like the year 1976, I lived at this place, and then I moved to this place. You know, it was mundane kind of stuff. But I'm like, when I was reading it 2 months ago, that's how mundane it was. I can't even remember what it was. But it's like you're talking about the very thing that had happened to me, and I saw that it happened with my own words and my own memory then and memory now. And I guess something about us changes inside.
Right.
But I don't know about the other stuff like mirror, mirror on the wall. Everybody remembers that as mirror, mirror on the wall when it wasn't. So that's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. And now I don't know how old you are, but let's just say you and I are about the same age. And
we're close. Yeah.
Okay, and you're a woman. That means you were a little girl and a big fan of Cinderella back in the day, right? Of course.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you thought you had that dialed, didn't you?
What are you going to ask me, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, the point is, when it comes to things like Disney or the little girl, and I'm not saying this in a sexist way, I'm just saying the little girl Disney stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
All about it.
You guys knew what was going on. And when somebody drops the mirror, mirror bomb on you, you're just like, well, no, I know what I'm talking about here. And I trust your memory. I do. And it's just, to me, the mirror, mirror thing, I don't know if it is possible that for some reason, Mirror Mirror was drilled into our memory from pop culture for some reason, and I don't know what that reason would be, right? Why would they change it? But when you go and you
another conspiracy, Jimmy.
Right. And then you find out that it was indeed Magic Mirror. It kind of messes with your head, doesn't it?
It did. That I thought I had down pat, but no.
Well, what do you think about
I saw the stuff on Facebook, that test, and there were some things that I passed, but that blew me away that I didn't know that one.
Right? Well, how about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? You know, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Well, I've sung that song so many times, and I just listened to it right now in the Neighborhood Archive. Right? It's neighborhoodarchive.com, music songs, right? It's right there.
Right.
And Won't You Be My Neighbor? Click on it. You can also see it on YouTube and listen to it. And it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. I never said this neighborhood once in my life. I've never
heard it put that way either.
Never have.
I wasn't a Mr. Rogers fan. I don't think I ever really watched it, but I've heard the songs.
Right.
Or people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? I don't know if I've ever sat through one of his shows, even as a kid. But I'll tell you what I did do. I listened to the beginning. I listened to, I might change the channel after that. But, man, I've seen that hundreds of times.
Sure.
But it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Cindy, thank you for the phone call.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy.
And have a great, safe rest of you. We'll see you Friday night. Don't forget.
No, you won't see me Friday night. But you know what? I really appreciate you guys moving your event that you were going to do down in August.
Right.
Because the one in August that you're doing is about 10 hours closer to me, so I'm going to go to that one instead.
Oh,
so
you're going to go. You're going to go to the Awareness Expo in Sacramento.
Right.
That's going to be a great expo, and it's a great hotel too. You can't beat the Crowne Plaza, right?
I guess not. Let's see.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. The Mandela effect in full effect. She brings up a really good point, because I don't know why life works like this, but with my childhood, because my father was in the Army, number one. 2, my parents were crazy. 3, my parents got divorced when I was very young too as well. I believe when that went down, 72, so I would have been like 9 years old when my parents divorced. So, but we moved around constantly. Always a new Army base, new city, new country. Every 2 or 3 years, we were pulling up stakes and moving. And so we lived all over Chicago and North Chicago and Michigan and Indianapolis, and then, Germany, Frankfurt, and Panama. You can throw that into back to Indianapolis. And so moving around, I went to so many schools and elementary schools, especially junior high. I went to 3 high schools, and it was only because of the timing of things, bouncing around between being a freshman in the 9th grade and then some schools didn't have. Anyway, the point is, I try to put that sequence of some of the places where we lived in order in my head, and I can't. It's weird. I kind of can't fit everything in. And I remember, this is probably about 20 years ago, I decided to sit down and just write the timeline out of my life, and trying to remember the schools. I've forgotten school names, so that's how many I've visited. But and tried to put it, and I couldn't do it. The timeline didn't work unless we were. Now, I'm not saying anything was strange about that. I'm just saying the way my memory remembered it, I couldn't make it happen. It was very bizarre. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi. Jimmy, great to talk to you. I just wanted to talk to you about King George painting. I think it was actually a commercial for fancy wrap or, glad bags or something like that, where they actually showed King George with a drumstick in his hand. I think that's where that false memory might have come from.
Yeah, and it's possible. It's totally, you're absolutely 100% right. What's your name?
My name's Ken.
Ken.
Calling from Irvine.
Oh, thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, and I think I remember that being like a Ziploc commercial or Saran wrap.
Saran wrap, Ziploc, yep, I believe you're right, sir.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. But, and he was doing the pose. I totally remember that. And it could be from that, right? But isn't it funny how we can kind of turn that around into, and you may be 100% right that's where that has come from.
When you were saying it, I remember the commercial. I said, no, it's not a false commercial. It's a twisted case of marketeering.
Ken, thank you for the phone call. You might be right, and you just bummed me out.
Thanks, sir. Love your show.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, this is Monica. I tuned into the show just as Mr. Rapaport was beginning the No More Fake News, so I missed your first part, and I was going to call in tonight and ask you about the Mandela effect, so I can't believe it's the topic.
See, that's the Mandela effect in effect.
It is. I know, it's incredible. A couple of years ago, I rented, I think, a DVD of Sex in the City, and I thought, I always thought it was Sex in the City. Guess I was wrong.
What was it? Wait. What was...
When it was out, I thought it was Sex in the City.
It is Sex in the City.
It's not.
What is it?
It's Sex and the City.
No.
Yes. Totally.
No. It's Sex in the City. It's not Sex and the City. Are you...
Yeah, look, I'm not messing with you.
Wait. Pump the brakes on this truck. Hold on a second. Okay, I gotta defer to Twitter and the chat rooms on this one right now. Is it really Sex and the City? Somebody help me out. There's so many women here. Help me out. I thought it was Sex in the City.
I did too. And then when I saw it was Sex and the City, I thought, oh gosh, I guess I've always thought of it the wrong way. And this is long before I'd heard anything about the Mandela effect.
You know, and you know what's funny, Monica, is you were definitely saying Sex in the City with your friends, and they were thinking, you know, Monica's got a hearing problem because she thinks it's Sex in the City. It's Sex and the City. Nobody's saying anything. You might kind of freak her out. So let's just be nice and let's act like. I'm looking at it right here. Everybody's posting. Yeah, Sex and the City. Dang, that messes, that messes with me, man. It's always been Sex and the City. My wife just says it's always been Sex and the City, both the book and the series. Well, not in my brain. I'm with Monica.
Not in my
one.
brain.
I thought it was Sex in the City. Okay, you said you had another one. What was the other one?
Yes, well, Star Wars, of course, Luke, I'm your father. I always thought it was that, but no, it's Luke. No, it's no, I'm your father.
Right.
And I watched Star Wars, and anyway, I watched Star Wars, and I thought, I misremembered that. The Forrest Gump quote, Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates, is how I thought it was. But its life was like a box of chocolates.
No, stop, Monica. You can't do this to me. You cannot do this to me on my show. Life is like a box of chocolates. Life was like a box of chocolates.
Which doesn't make sense, because if it was something that his mom was always saying, she would have said it in the present, like, Forrest, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Not like, well, Forrest, life was like, but I don't know what it is now.
Oh, Monica, this is a brilliant call. Where are you calling from?
New York City.
And you should know. You should know. Monica.
Right? I know.
Yeah, Monica, I want you to write Rita right now, and I've got your phone number, and I've got your name right here. Okay. Go to our contact page, send her an email with your phone number in it and your T-shirt size. All right, and maybe you'll get lucky, and we'll send you one of the new ones. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Monica. Great phone call.
Yes. Have a good night.
You too. That's what I'm talking about. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, Casper Parks.
Hey, Casper Parks. Don't call me up bumming me out with some Mandela effect stuff that is going to freak me out. Monica was good. Did you listen to all that?
Yeah, I caught that. I thought it was always Sex in the City.
I did too, man.
But I have a distinct memory of Billy Graham dying. I mean, I remember Bush Jr. and Clinton going to the funeral. I remember seeing on the news they talked about how Billy Graham had been counsel for like going all the way back to Nixon, and that his son had taken over the ministry a few years earlier. I have a really good, distinct memory of that.
Man, you got a full breakdown. Okay.
Yeah, I remember it being on the news. I remember everything like that. I mean, I remember all of that. And then I had to go look it up. And he was born in 1918. He's still alive yet. So, my grandmother's 102 right now. So I mean, people do live a long time.
Right.
So he's still alive. But I remember him. I have a distinct memory of him dying. I remember that Obama didn't go, and there was a little flack about it. But Clinton and Bush Jr. were there, and they talked about the contributions he made to various presidents and things of that sort, and how he started the Tent Crusades and all that. I remember seeing it on the news. But that could just be my head messing with me. It's like, when I was a kid, I always thought that the America song was Ventura Highway, and it was actually Ventura Highway, which is the highway that runs along the California coast.
Yes.
So some of this could be as simple as that. You mishear a lyric. Some of it could be that simple.
Well, in that case, I mean, we've all done that with music, and I'm not going to embarrass myself with some of the stupid things I thought songs were over the years. But when it comes down to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, that's it. That's the song. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Want to be my neighbor. We all know that song. It's never been It's a Beautiful Day in this neighborhood. I can't even sing that. It doesn't roll off my tongue.
I always thought it was the neighborhood.
Yes, of course you did, because it was. That's, I don't know. I don't know. That's messing. There are just things that are messing with my head, and I can't. I can't get this together.
I got some wild theories I could throw at you, but I don't know if you really want to hear it.
No, I do. What do you think's going on?
Well, you hear different things through, these type of networks, fringe networks, if you want to call it that, where some people believe that we're living like in a matrix or virtual reality. So let's say that there was a system crash and they restored most of it, but had to go back in and redo parts of it. So you end up with sex in the city instead of in the city because the person that re-entered the data entered it wrong.
Could be. It could be something simple like that. And
sure.
What about what if it was something like this? And this is kind of how I was putting it together in my mind, which is if we have the complexity of a simple paradox that goes wrong, right? Like leaving a Coke can back in 65 million years ago, right? With the dinosaurs. And then today, the planet, it doesn't have blue skies. The planet has green skies. Just pick a color. And all of us have 5 arms, right? Okay, something crazy just messes up evolution. There's that. So maybe they're going back and changing and altering history to see if those paradoxes will affect the future and in what way.
It's possible. I mean, there's some people believe in, we have multiverses, and they actually made a movie, I think Jet Li was in it, called The One, where when, so you're living in multiple dimensions all at the same time. And when one person dies in that dimension, that his or her life force will merge with the other one, or merge with the other ones. And then you might, if there's slight variations for things, then some people might have altered memories. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course it does.
Yeah. Then there's the, you create multiple universes. Some people believe if you jump back in time, alter the past, you create a parallel dimension. Some people think that that's a possibility. Then there was this one theory. This is really crazy. This was all years ago. I don't know whose it was. I can't claim it as mine. But the Earth orbits the sun. Now, let's say that exactly opposite of Earth on the other side of the sun is another Earth, or another planet, but another Earth identical to ours, but we never see it because we're both orbiting at the same speed. So we never see them because we can't see on the other side of the sun. That I can't remember who said that theory or when it came out. It might have been like the 1970s, maybe early 80s. And I can't remember who came up with that.
Well, and that theory was only valid until satellites. Okay, because remember, we had problems with Zeta Reticuli and that knowledge, prior to 1968 or whenever we fired up Telstar or whatever we fired up and started shooting stuff around, we didn't know what was going on that side of the sun because we were orbiting. So, I mean, the sun was always blocking, but now with satellites, we know what's on the other side of the sun. Well, allegedly, that's if, the Earth is, not flat.
Right. And if let's say that we're on a course right now toward self-destruction, self-annihilation. If an alien race step back in time to try to and alter the timeline to try and stop us from self-destructing,
right?
That could cause this too.
Hey, have you seen? We watched it over the weekend. Gods of Egypt. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Okay, you've got to check it out. It just got released. A really, 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 really cool film. Really, I mean, it's all in there. It's all good. Special effects are really cool. But I'll be damned, man. They I'm trying to think who plays Ra, the sun god. It's what's his name from? Anyway, it's the Earth is flat. And he's up. Ra has got a spaceship up above, the flat Earth, right? And it's underneath. And he's towing the sun on a chain. And his job is to rotate the sun every 24 hours. It's pretty bizarre. I couldn't believe it, man. The flat earthers got it in there. And I was just like, man, you got to be kidding me. But there it was. What's his name? Who plays Ra? Ah, man, it's the guy that, I hate it when I brain freeze on the air. It just it makes me really, I reveal my true self. I'm actually a complete doofus. But it's a really cool part of the film, and you should check it out because everything is in there. Everything, Horus and Isis and the whole God concept. It's pretty bizarre. And they also show Egypt in Giza. I know I'm starting to get off subject here, but Giza being a lush green civilization, all of Egypt, and it's really, really cool how they have it done. And they have I think Luxor and Karnak and some of these places like they would actually look right back then, because we see it today as old megalithic structures that have been weathered, but the way that they have it presented back then, it's mind-blowing. It's really, really cool. Gods of Egypt. Should check it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future you don't see they do a film like you're talking now, but they'll put Globi Keki in there. I probably mispronounced it, but
no, you were close enough. Close enough. Hey, Casper, we're gonna head into a commercial here. Are you gonna go to Contact in the Desert?
No, synchronicity. Something I was trying to go, I couldn't go, and it didn't work out. And it's just as well that it didn't, because I have some things going on next week, and I can't be in California and here at the same time.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, we'll miss you this time, but we got stuff going on all summer. Thank you, Casper, for everything that you do.
Thanks for taking the call.
Talk to you. Casper Parks, everybody. Man, I forgot to ask him when his new book is coming out. Man, that was just rude of me. Casper, when's your new book coming out? Post it in Twitter. Sorry about that. Yeah, that new movie, Gods of Egypt, man, is really cool. This is Fade to Black. We're talking about the Mandela effect. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, 323-825-5045. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you know what's in your body soap? Well, I didn't know the answer until about 5 years ago when I looked at the label of my soap and was shocked to see all the chemicals. For my entire life, I had been assaulting the largest organ of my body, my skin, and to think my children were using it too. Well, a lot has changed since then. Today, my family and I operate Stone City Farms, where we make and sell all natural goat milk soap using fresh goat milk from goats we raise on our farm. Our mission at Stone City Farm is to produce high-quality, all-natural goat milk soap for people who want a fresh, unrefined, natural product. At Stone City Farms, we offer scented and unscented soaps and a signature line of gift sets customizable to your needs. To see what our customers are saying, go to StoneCityFarm.com. Use the code NATURAL for a 20% discount. That's StoneCityFarm.com, code NATURAL for 20% off your order. You never know what could be hiding in your soap.
Did you ever turn to your radio for your favorite talk show to find that it's been preempted for this?
In the air to deep right center. Back goes Lewis to the wall, and it's out of here.
Or this?
And I'm ashamed of you, Hillary, for voting for it.
Do you have a favorite talk radio program that's not available in your city? Just go to TalkStreamLive.com for links to the best streaming talk radio shows. At TalkStream Live, you will find live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All your favorites are here. With such a large selection, you will also discover some new favorites. On the go and still want to listen? With a mobile smartphone, simply type TalkStream Live on your internet browser. Now you can take internet radio with you. You will also find hundreds of music, news, and sports streams. Best of all, the TalkStream Live directory is free and there's never a login required. Remember TalkStreamLive.com, the fastest route between you and your favorite talk radio show.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back to Fade to Black, a very special Fader night tonight. Tomorrow night's going to be a replay. So, doing Fader night tonight, open lines, 323-825-5045. We're talking about the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect. Have you ever, right? It's pretty crazy. And I got to say, Australia just came in. Dan just comes in with Gods of Egypt. Ra is played by Aussie actor Jeffrey Rush, and he's absolutely right. And when we were watching the movie, I immediately, I turned to Rita and I go, hey, check it out, Jeffrey Rush. Rolled right off my tongue. Come on the show, forgot his name. Love Jeffrey Rush. Absolutely. There you go. Australia protects their own. Never forget that. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey.
Good to talk to you, Dave from Connecticut.
Hey, Dave.
I have a different kind of view on it. You're a remote viewing specialist, and like Stan Deo, and I don't know if any of your guys know about Ken Wheeler.
Yes.
And a lot of the gravitics effects and how we're all interconnected. And I think that maybe the way that this whole thing is going about is that it's not about history. It's all we're making our own history.
That's interesting. Well, okay. Have you made your own? And have you, and certainly we've given a lot of examples tonight, but have you looked back in your own life and go, hey, you know what? That ain't the way that I remember it.
To me, it's more like deja vu sometimes. But, I mean, I believe that we're all interconnected, some way or another. You've talked to your remote viewing expert and how they connect to different sites instantaneously. Maybe we're making our own future as we go through it. So that's why it's changing.
That's an interesting take on it, actually. So what is your experience with deja vu, and why would you tie that in? Because I can see it, I can feel where you're going with this, but you must have an example.
I really can't come up with them right now, but I have one comment. Instead of getting your T-shirt gun, maybe you should get a smoke gun for the show instead. You know, that shoots those toroids out of it. You can blow out a candle from across the room, shooting on a toroid.
Well, what I was thinking, out at Contact in the Desert, they have an outdoor amphitheater, and it seats like 3,000 people, man. It's nice. Huge. And trying to get T-shirts to the back of the audience.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need something.
You need a cannon, but we have we have a solution for it that I think is going to be good. See, the problem that I have, Dave, is that I especially in baseball, I could never throw a baseball. I could never throw a baseball where I needed to throw. I could throw one, it just wouldn't go where I needed it to go to, right?
Buddy of mine's going for the state champs throwing the javelin today.
Well,
159 feet, and he's only a freshman.
Yeah, that's impressive. But with me, I'm throwing T-shirts out at all of these events that we go to, and I swear I'm trying to throw it to the guy in the middle or in the back, and I hit some lady in the front row in the face, you know. Just,
don't do that.
Yeah.
Shoot it up high.
What do you mean don't do that?
I'm also thinking like longitudinal wave-wise. You know, it's the same as like a pressurized brake system. Hit your brakes. And, you know, it doesn't travel all the way through the brake system. It happens at one side and happens at the other at the same time. It's a poor example, but I'm saying, you know, with some of this physicality, that something can happen here and happen somewhere else at the same time. Time is not an issue. So sometimes, you know, we can change our own future by all thinking about it. The other caller made me not feel so stupid because, you know, I'm thinking about different ways of thinking.
Well, you know, I remember, this goes back about 20, 25 years. And I remember there was a guy, I'm going to have to go back and research this. Somebody's going to be able to remember his name and post it. But I remember a guy that was out there on the circuit talking about we all have the ability to dream into another reality, whatever it is, and and he had this whole technique, you know, and it was about closing your eyes and changing.
Brain waves have to be waves, and it's all about waves.
Well, he was talking about, I mean, just crazy stuff like, you know, close your eyes. You don't want to be a furniture salesman. You're a furniture salesman, and you want to be a college graduate, you know, in the banking industry. Close your eyes and step off into another parallel reality, and then you'll kiss this life goodbye. And you're going to be, and I mean, it was this whole thing. It was bizarro. And he had his way of doing this presentation, and it was pretty cool. I just can't remember his name right now. It was a while ago. It was 25 years ago when this guy was out, and he had written a couple of books about it. I just can't remember. See, it was another reality.
I just want to say again, I've been looking at this guy Ken Wheeler. He, to me, is like the Judge Jeanine Pirro of you know, this gravitic stuff, and his stuff on YouTube is just fantastic. I love Stan Deo too. Love your show. I've been listening to it. You keep me up too late, Jim.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave. That's part of being on the East Coast. That's why you got to head west, young man.
My sister's in San Fran. She wants me to come out, but I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Dave, and be safe out there. Love you right back. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's a great. You know, I do. You know, I feel bad for the people on the East Coast, and I know. And see, this is what's really trippy about that is coast to coast is 10 to 2 a.m. on the West Coast. So that means it's 1 to 5 in the morning on the East Coast, right? Now, for us here being 7 to 10, it's not as bad. It's 11. No, it would be 10 until 1 in the morning. Okay, well, you know what? That's not so bad. But if you go back, it's always been that way in New York. They're used to that. Long John Nebel was on, I believe, he was on at midnight till 6 a.m., and he did that for 20 years, from 55 to 75 until he died, 74, whatever. But that's what they do. I mean, that city, so what they are so acclimated with, I guess, lying in their bed in the city somewhere, in the Bronx and Queens, right, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan proper, and turning on the radio and listening to stuff all night long. And so I guess I don't feel bad. Why? Because they friggin' invented overnight radio. They just did. Somebody had posted, I can't remember where it was. Somebody had posted, hey, man, you need to do your show 3 hours earlier. Because everybody over here on the East Coast, and you don't even understand, Fade to Black is one thing, but Coast to Coast is even later, man. You guys need to back it up like 3 hours. I'm like, wait a minute. First off, it's not going to happen, number one. But number two, you guys invented it. I mean, there you go. All right, let's go back to the phones. Enough rambling. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Mark from Oregon.
What's up, Mandela?
The Mandela effect. Okay. So I've given this a little bit of thought. Many years ago, I worked for the first hypnotist who was licensed by the AMA, a guy named Dwight Olson. And needless to say, it was pretty impressive. I watched him work several times. And he couldn't hypnotize me. I wasn't a good subject. And the amazing Kreskin failed. I was one of the people who got sent back, at the very beginning of apparently I'm not hypnotizable. But you can see how people will take suggestion and do things and remember things and have memories that aren't there. And what happens when people watch television is their brain waves begin to alter into an unnatural state that's a life form of hypnosis. And so it's not any wonder to me that people who grew up watching TV, including myself, I'm like 15 years clean, but people who grew up watching TV are having false memories just from constantly being in an altered state while they're watching the television, day after day, week after week, month after month. They become extremely suggestible, and everything starts to blend together.
Whoa. You need a hit of coffee.
Okay?
Yeah, man, that was weird. It just came out of nowhere. Look, as far as I know, when I was 5 years old watching Gilligan's Island, I wasn't in an altered state of consciousness. I wasn't doing the puff, puff, give, give in 1967 when I was 4. I was certainly eating Quisp or Quake or Sugar Pops and with a blanket in front of the TV, but I might have been jacked up on sugar, but I wasn't high. And so my memories of things like, and I haven't, my favorite shows back then, I was a big Brady Bunch guy. I was a big Gilligan's Island, could not get enough of it. Flintstones, I was right there. Speed Racer and stuff like that came later. But as a kid, those early shows that I can quote and tell you, and I've seen every single one. And today, if one of them is on TV Land, Gilligan's, I'll stop and watch it. I don't care how many times I've seen it. So if somebody wants to start messing with my head and saying that something about Gilligan's Island never happened, I don't know, man. It's not going to come from, Mark, and I'm serious, it's not going to come from some type of chemically induced memory.
Well, it really does happen, though. I mean, me not watching TV, I'm acutely aware of this. But if I go over to a friend's house and they have their television set on and they're watching TV, And it's like you can talk to them and they don't even hear you. And I'm like, wow, it's like being drugged. And something else that I've noticed.
Well, I do that. I do that with Rita all day long.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
I noticed that people who don't watch TV, when I talk to them about something, I don't get that glazed over look in their eyes that shows me that they're in cognitive dissonance. So that's just for what that's worth. I think, obviously there's something to be said for neural induction while you're in a light hypnotic trance and things being repeated to you over and over and over and over.
Yeah, but these
are the candidates that you have to vote for.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Mark.
Choices. This is the paradigm.
But a lot of things can induce that. For me, a slice of cheesecake on a plate in front of me is going to induce the glazed over eyes.
I'm with you there. I'm with you.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be something repetitive. And I'm not being facetious here when I speak about the cheesecake. It could be anything that will cause you to tune out your environment, right? It could be anything. It really could. I see and have been part of the television causing that, or movie, right? Or a song that has come on and pulls you into it, and people are talking to you and you don't hear them, and they're like, dude.
The opposite of playing music, and I know you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure.
You sit down in a room with 4 or 5 guys, and you're also tuned into each other, that it's like you're reading their thoughts and their feelings. And watching television is just exactly the opposite of that.
Yes. Right. Well, yes. I can't argue with that. I love a good debate, but you're right there. So oh, man. Are you guys coming down to Contact?
We can't make it this year.
Oh.
We were considering Big Bear, and that isn't happening. So we're still weighing our options for the remainder of the summer.
Okay, well, we'll make something happen. I mean, Sacramento is coming up, too, as well. And
a nice air-conditioned room has infinitely more appeal to me.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Man, we'll see you right here Friday night, my brother.
All right. Good night, Fader Nuts.
I'll talk to you. Thank you so much. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
How you doing? My name's Kyle. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Carl from Pennsylvania. How are you, man?
Okay. First off, I just want to say thank you. I have got several people I follow on Facebook that have radio shows, and I found you. I've only listened to the show for about 2 months. I found you, and when I found you, I put in a friend request, and you friended me in like an hour, and that's great.
Well, that never happens. There must have been a reason why. That never happens. That never happened. There must have been some kind of cosmic connection for that to have happened. Seriously, man, we have to today, with all the bots and stuff that goes on with Facebook and other accounts too as well. Twitter is really bad with it. But we have to vet everybody, because it just everything is automated, and it's hard to. It's funny when you click on some friend request where there's no friends, you have nothing in common, there's nothing there, and you go and you start to dig into this person before you say yes, and then they have the perfect family picture, right? I mean, who posts that? Nobody, right? And there's no comments on their page, and it's a bunch of ads for Ray-Ban sunglasses. It's like, dude, what are you doing? But anyway, enough of that. Welcome to the family. So the Mandela effect, what do you think?
Well, I've spent a lot of time reading, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these people, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, R.H. Jarrett, Claude Bristol, a lot of these new thought authors, which is separate from New Age.
Right.
And they use a lot of subconscious. Your subconscious controls everything. If you could just tap in your subconscious, control your subconscious, you could run everything that happens around you. And, hey, it's just kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Excuse me.
I had an instance several years ago where I remember this just as plain as day. I was sitting in a restaurant eating dinner with someone. They had TVs on in the restaurant, but they had no sound. They showed a picture of Sinead O'Connor and had her born date and her death date, and they showed the clip from Saturday Night Live where she ripped the Pope's picture in half. And I was sitting there and I went, oh, my God, Sinead O'Connor died. That never happened.
Wow.
I can remember that just as clear as day.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't a dream. Excuse me. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a vision. I remember it happening. And I even asked the person that was there with me, and they're like, no, I don't remember that. But I'm like, okay, then I'm completely insane. But I remember that happening.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting. That's an interesting one. And now I gotta think about that. The one thing about her that, and especially she's been in the news lately. She disappeared in Chicago last week. I don't know if you heard the news about that, but she disappeared for the day.
I haven't.
Yeah, she took off on a bicycle in the morning. I think it was like on a Sunday morning. And early, too, like 7 a.m., took off and didn't come back and the police found her like 24 hours later. This was last week. But anyway, She's always been, in trouble, or, she had her little suicide attempts over the years. And I think she's done that twice, once just recently. But anyway, she was always in the news with bad stuff. And, but she would always disappear. I've met her and stuff a couple of times, but I was always a fan. I always thought she had a great voice. And but really, if you think about it, she just came and went, and she didn't sustain her career like she should have, because she was great singer. I mean, just unbelievable singer. But
just nothing compares to you. It's just I mean,
you know who wrote that? You know who wrote that song, right?
Oh, yeah, Prince.
Yeah, Prince. And so anyway, I was just a big fan of hers, and I could see, I don't know if I've ever heard about reports of her death, but I used to follow her career.
Yeah, well, nobody, it wasn't a hoax. Nobody remembers this happening. I'm the only person who remembers it happening.
Right.
But I've got a friend of mine that I had gone to see Men in Black 2 when it came out, and I was telling her about it. She said, no, that's not what happened. She remembered a completely different movie, and she could tell you the movie she saw with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, follow the whole storyline. She told me the entire movie she saw. It was not Men in Black 2, but she swore up and down it was Men in Black 2. And we finally just got to the point where we would talk to each other and we'd say, well, maybe that was a different reality you saw it in. And, it just like weird little things like that would happen. And so, it's like I said, I started going into this stuff where reading about subconscious and conscious mind and how your subconscious mind can affect your conscious mind. And I don't know if it's me doing it or maybe it really is a glitch in the Matrix. Maybe that's really what it is.
Yeah, the glitch in the Matrix part of it, which, and especially when you have a movie that you've seen over and over and over and over and over again, and you've watched it the beginning to the end so many times, and you know the movie, right? And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years go by, and then you go back and you watch it again, right? And you're watching it, and you're like, wait a minute. It's like watching a brand new movie because I don't remember this scene, right? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
The same thing with
right? Yeah. And then you start watching it, and then it happens again, and it happens again, and suddenly you have to ask yourself, how can I forget the whole movie? I thought that I remembered the whole movie, and now I'm seeing 15 scenes in this movie that I truly, honestly don't remember. So you have to ask yourself, is it a glitch in the Matrix? Or maybe just your hard drive, your brain, is just storing the important parts, and the other stuff, it's just not stored, right? Your brain's been defragged, right? And they've cleaned out the stuff that wasn't important.
One thing real quick, I know you got to get to other people, but something somebody mentioned earlier about the TV shows, watching television.
Right.
If you go into this, subconscious controls your reality, okay? And I don't mean like I can mentally make a Sherman tank up here in the living room, not like that. I'm talking about how it subtly affects your body. Positive thoughts lead to you, being healthier, mental healing, things like that. When you're watching television, take note of how many times in a commercial break, you see commercials for drugs, commercials telling you that about cancer, about diseases, it's hammered into your head. And if you believe that your subconscious controls your physical being, you're subconsciously being pummeled with thoughts that you are going to be sick and you are going to need medicine. It's just constant reinforcement of that over and over and over.
Yeah, there's no question about that. There's no question about that. And
I wonder how many people they make sick by watching these commercials.
Absolutely.
Especially the very people that are easily susceptible to these things.
How many times have you, and I know, if you tell me never, you're lying. Okay, so let's just start there, all right, Carl? Okay. How many times have you thought to yourself in your mind, I'm about to get a cold?
Oh, God, yeah.
And then you do.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is something you're turning on and off switches in your body. It's just the way that it is. Oh man, I'm about due for a headache, and bam.
In Claude Bristol's book, The Magic of Believing, he says he points out a thing where you can be on a ship, so you can go on a cruise ship. You can walk up to one of your fellow passengers and say, "Oh, you don't look too good. You look a little green. You look like you may be getting sick." If the person's susceptible, in a few minutes they'll get seasick.
Yeah, they're going to go throw up. Yeah. That's actually fun. You can do that for sport.
Yeah, but you walk into a crew member and say, "Hey, you look a little sick. And they go, "Yeah, right, whatever."
Yeah,
because they know they're not.
Right.
But the other person is susceptible to it. But this person knows deep down inside, I'm not getting sick. I'm fine.
Yeah, check this out. This happened to me. We're going to hit a break, so I'm going to say this really quick. I used to read in a car, right? I could read in a car. Read. And airplanes, whatever, right? And somebody said to me, I don't know, it was about 15 years ago, as an adult, somebody said to me, reading makes you car sick, right? Mm-hmm. I cannot read now. Yep. I can't read. I cannot read in a car. I will stare out the window. I will do whatever. But the last thing I will do, if I read one word in a magazine, I'll puke. And that's just the way it is. Powers of suggestion.
I can't either now.
Hey, Carl, thank you.
I'm the same way.
Thank you for the phone call, man. Brilliant phone call. Write Rita right now. Go to our contact page. Write her. I've got your phone number. Give us your shirt size. All right?
Okay.
I'll talk to you, Carl.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
It's Fade to Black. 323-825-5045. Thank you, Carl. The Mandela effect. What is it? How? What? When? Where? Why? Your call's next. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay right there.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Dolan. When I'm not hosting my radio program, The Richard Dolan Show on KGRA, or writing new books on UFOs, I run a publishing company. I'm proud to say that Richard Dolan Press has published some of the most fascinating books available on UFOs and related subjects. They include Dr. Bruce Maccabee's classic analysis of the UFO cover-up, David Marler's breakthrough book on triangular UFOs, Dr. Richard Sauter's unique work on underground bases, and other classics by Grant Cameron, Chase Kletsky, and Dr. Bob Wood, not to mention intriguing works by Eve Lorgan and Laurie MacDonald that deal with truly bizarre phenomena. I'm proud to publish such high quality and original works, and there are several amazing books about to be released over the next few months. Go to richarddolanpress.com to learn more.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
What up, Fade to Black? I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It is FADERNIGHT. Open lines all night long. Talking about the Mandela effect tonight. 323-825-5045. Before I get to that, I posted this, I keep saying it's not earlier today. King Tut was buried with a dagger made of an iron that literally came from space. And this is according to a new study into the composition of the iron blade from the sarcophagus of King Tut. Using a non-invasive portable X-ray fluorescence spectrometry, the team of an Italian and Egyptian researchers confirmed that the iron of the dagger placed on the right thigh of King Tut's mummified body was from a meteor. The team, which includes researchers from Milan Polytechnic, Pisa University, and the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, detailed their results in the Journal of Planetary Science. Now, this is what's interesting here. I thought, now, unless things changed in a very short period of time, but weren't they a Bronze Age civilization? They didn't have steel, right? Well, we know that certainly at 2500 BC, allegedly, they only had copper tools, right? That's always been part of the big debate. Now, when King Tut came along, did they suddenly make the jump from bronze to steel? Right? That's all that I'm saying. But it was an iron blade from a meteor. Now, how trippy is that? You can check out the entire article and pictures of it over on our Facebook page, Jimmy Church Radio. Go check it out. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up? Who's this?
Hey, this is Kat.
Which? No, shut up. Okay, sing some Jeff Tate for me right now. Prove it.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay. All
Jeff
right.
Tate. This is Kat from Shreveport.
Yes, I know. Jeff Tate.
Oh, okay.
Queensryche.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I wish I could sing like him.
Okay, what's your favorite Queensryche song? What's your favorite Dimebag Darrell guitar riff?
Oh, man. Cemetery Gate.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's you. Okay, we can continue
That's
now,
me.
Kat.
It's 318.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I am good. I haven't called in so long. I missed you.
Yeah, see, that's why I had to make sure it was really you. How have you been?
Oh, and I'm good. I have a weird, I don't know if it's Mandela effect, but something really weird happened, and I've not told anybody because it's like, you get the, oh, yeah, right, sure. But
well, okay, before we get to that, really quick, you got any gigs coming up? How's the band? What's going on with that?
The band, we lost our bass player like May 4th and had 2 shows in Fort Worth May 7th that we just couldn't go. So we're not real happy right now, but
you can't. Wait a minute. I love the bass play. I love we lost our bass player story when it comes to a band, right? Did he quit? Did he get fired? Was there a girlfriend or boyfriend involved? I mean, what happened? Did he just not show up?
No. Well, I mean, we knew it was coming. He had a lot of family stuff he had to always do, and little kids, and it just seemed like it was best for everybody. So he just decided that day that that was his last day.
Man, bass players, man, why do they do that? You know what?
I don't know, but I hear that a lot.
You know what? Okay, you want a bass player joke? I'll tell one right now since you're going through bass player hell.
Where's your Rolodex? Yes.
Yeah, right. Is why God invented bass players?
I have no idea.
So musicians would have somebody to hang out with. Oh. Man, bass players of the world, save the email, okay? Just save it. Save it right now. A good bass player, this is the thing. There are bass players, right? And then there's real bass players. Bass players that are artists, right? Those guys are worth their weight in gold. They know it. They'll always get a gig. They'll always be employed, and they when you get a real bass player in the band, it's just like, man, not the guy that's just going to sit there and do his thing, thinks that he's playing whatever, but a real bass player, the real guys, man, it's hard, man. Bass players are they're tough, and that's why they piss us off so much.
Oh man, this guy was ridiculously awesome, and I think that's why it was. It's just such a long story. I mean, he was so good. We just declined more shows than we were offered, and it was just getting to that point where it's like, wow, man, okay,
right.
We know you're great.
Right.
But, you got to be dedicated. I don't care how good you are. If you're sitting at home, you're not doing me any good. So.
Yeah. Have him call into the show. I'll straighten him out. Okay. All right. Let's get to the Mandela effect. What have you got for me?
I don't know what happened, but I was asleep. I was dead asleep. I know I went to bed that night. I know I did. And woke up. I thought I woke up. Opened my eyes just a slither, just a kind of, how in the morning you look around, was not my bedroom. It was a girl's bedroom, had a pink canopy, stuffed animals. I couldn't move. I was, that sleep paralysis or whatever.
Yeah.
Shook my head as much as I could and, fight to move. Closed my eyes, woke up again in a different room. A different bed, had a window AC cranked. I could see the curtains blowing. Blue comforter, no idea. It happened 3 times till I woke up in my bed. What was that? Is that me trying to get? I don't know. And I don't know if that's part of where we go and when we're asleep and oops, you're not wrong body, and you're not supposed to be able to do that. It was not a dream. I don't care what anybody says. I could feel it. I felt the cold on my face from the air conditioner blowing on it. There's no air conditioner in my room. I woke up and was sat straight up, and I was like, holy crap. And it's been 2 years, I think, since that happened. Wow. And I haven't told anybody because it was so real. I was just like, I want to keep this so nobody can diminish it with saying, yeah, right, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't, you know, so.
Well,
what was that?
Well, did it ever, was that the only time?
Well, I mean, did that happen, waking up in the wrong body?
Yeah.
Yes, that I'm aware of.
Well, I don't know if right. I don't know if it was the wrong body, Kat, but it's definitely that could have been a slippage of you dipping into a parallel world that was right next to you, and that was you know, in another life. That's all. In another world.
Crazy.
You know, and what's funny is your family and your world is out. I mean, they're still there, but maybe, you know, everything was just a little bit different. You know, did you ever grow up with the pink stuff in your room? You know, the little girl stuff?
Yeah, my mom, I had a pink canopy bed. I was 4 or 5, maybe. Right.
Wow, that's even more interesting.
I know. Tell me, you know what's really weird is that, I mean, it's totally, but when I was little, stuff like that was easy. I mean, I could see things in the room that weren't there, and, well, that they were there, but I just thought that was normal until somebody came along, like you said, and said, that's not real. I mean, I sat there in my mom's bed, laying up against her. I was probably 5 or 6, and told her I could see, like, these movie strips going across the wall of things that were happening and everything. She's like, oh, that's just because the mini blinds are making the light weird in here. Full color? No, I don't think so. In the 70s? No. I mean, but what are you going to, your mom, oh, okay, it's not really there, but it faded. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, I've never had that happen. I had when I was in high school, went down for spring break in Fort Lauderdale with my friend Walt Justice, stayed at his house, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and this is exactly what happened. I was lost. I didn't know where I was. I was in his house, right, in Fort Lauderdale. I woke up. I freaked out. I ran out of the bedroom trying to find I'm lost in this house. I am completely confused. And I walked up to the sliding glass door and opened it and turned on the burglar alarm, right?
Oh my God.
And this thing is freaking out. Beep, 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 beep. And I go and I'm serious too. I'm not making any of this up. I started pressing buttons on the burglar alarm, right? Trying to shut this thing off. And I'm lost. I walk out on his where the pool was in the back. And I'm standing out there, and then the alarms just got louder and louder, and the police showed up. And the police go, they're knocking on the front door, and I'm barely coming to. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. The cops go, do you live here? No. Whose house is this, man? Right now, I'm not sure where I am. And it got it got really bad. And then Walt comes out of his bedroom. He's cool. And he tells the cops what's going on. We're from Indianapolis, and we're down here visiting on spring break. And then it was like, oh, that's right, we're on spring break. That really happened. And I would have thought, I would have thought that all of those, what I was doing there would come back to me. It was really funny. I think there was...
It doesn't come back.
Yeah, there was other things. I was just in such a deep sleep. And something woke me up, and I don't know what it was, but I could not get my head back together. And then it was all good.
That's a scary feeling.
Yeah, and then it was all
scary
good.
Because you don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, it all came together. Walt and I laughed about it and whatever, ha, ha, ha. But it was pretty trippy, man. I couldn't grab a hold of myself for about 15 minutes. I was really confused. So
they probably thought you were smoking on something really good.
Well, that's between you and I. Okay, nobody's supposed to know that.
Yeah, because nobody else is listening.
Thank you, thank you so much,
thank
Kat.
You. Real quick about the suggestive, mind control thing. I want everybody to just imagine sucking on a lemon really quick and see what happens.
Why?
It'll make your mouth water. It's total control over you.
Oh, I got you. Well, since you're a singer, what do you think about the Mr. Rogers' It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
It was the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Never happened. I don't care what they say.
All right, there you go. From the authority. Thank you so much, Kat.
I have a safe trip tomorrow, and I wish I could be there and have a good time.
And we will, and we'll see you Friday night, okay?
Oh, yeah, somebody's going to see me because I'm going to make somebody do FaceTime from the Fader house so I can see what's up.
Yeah, we're talking about that. We're actually talking about that. All right? Thank you so much, Kat.
Cool. Bye.
Bye. Dino, turn me down. I can hear me.
No, it's not me.
I heard Kat in the background. So what's going on, man?
Well, it's really strange that last night after we talked about this Mandela effect, another program brought up the subject like right after. And the deal was time travel. And I think that's the elephant in the room is we make jokes about the Matrix on this program and all that, but could it be, and you kind of raised the question a little bit last night, that someone, Andrew Basaggio, said that he was going into a room and going back and given assignments to change things, that because mass media, especially in America and Northern Europe, grabs our attention so much that maybe someone is going back to manipulate them for purposes yet unknown, just like 9/11,
Yeah,
things
no
we
doubt.
remember.
No doubt.
So that's what I've been thinking about. It's just so much of this. Sometimes, like I said, the lyrics to a popular song. How many times, you heard something like Jimi Hendrix, for example, right? Excuse me while I kiss the sky. I've heard people. I thought it was saying, "Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Well, yeah, but we know about you, Dino. So, I'm with you on that. Lyrics, though, you're going to perceive, what you're going to hear. I mean, I used to sing lyrics, out loud over the years, and I would have a real singer go, "No, dude, that's not the line." "Well, what is it?" And they would say it. I was like, "Oh, really? Okay. All right." So, that happens all the time. But when it comes to things that are factual, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, for example, or the Berenstain Bears, which is Berenstein, or, some of these other examples, the tale on Curious George. Those are factual things where your eyes and your memory is there. That's what's bizarre. I mean, it's gone to a whole nother level for me and memories. I don't know. And once this starts to get out there, the Mandela effect, and starts to get out there more and more, and millions of people start coming forward, and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, what if we find out that history has been altered in front of us?" Wow.
That's the thing. This is even more, the Mandela effect is even more interesting than 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's nothing compared to this.
Right. Yeah, Kevin.
And the thing is that what I hate is when a good friend or someone and I argue with them about something we experienced 20, 30, 40 years ago. And, of course, where does everybody go nowadays to check that out? They go to the Internet. Oh, Google it. Well, I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo because they don't trace you. but Google does and Facebook does. So if they're tracing, thousands or millions of people looking up a certain fact, someone that puts that information in, like a little bit like Wikipedia, could change that information so that even though you know something to be the truth, they've changed the record so it makes you look like a fool.
Yeah, sure. And anybody can edit Wikipedia. So when something is trending, like the Mandela effect, right? And it's trending and there's some factual thing out there, and they turn around and alter Wikipedia for this Berenstain or Berenstain Bears or whatever. They just go back and alter it, and that's your first reference, right? And you jump on Wikipedia and somebody's gone in and done an edit that day, and it hasn't been fixed yet, and you read it and you go, oh, man, holy crap, all right. 9/11 didn't happen on 9/11. It actually happened on 9/10? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the whole result is skewed, and from that point on in our time for reference, then everything is skewed because how many thousands of people saw that and take that for a fact, and they're going to argue with you next time you bring it up.
Yeah, well, that's true. And so with the power of the internet and the power of suggestion that goes down with that, and let's just say that the altering happens just for a few minutes, but enough to have 10, 20,000 people go and look at some reference on Wikipedia. And then it goes back and is fixed, right? Now we have a problem. And the problem is the people that went and checked Wikipedia and that fact that they went and checked, they read it and they know it, right? And then they go back to Wikipedia and it's altered. And now they're thinking to themselves, now it's implanted. Now it's fixed. So now that's where the propagation starts. And the urban legend and the urban myth will take off and run downhill because there are thousands of people that are now saying, hey, well, you know what? No, I know. I read it on Wikipedia. I know it's changed now, but I know that I read it. No, whatever. But now that would cause the flood of the internet to start and talk about this, and search engines and everything else, where it gets into your brain. Right? It gets into your brain, and now it becomes a real thought, and it becomes a real memory. And the power of the internet can do that. There's no question about it.
And I want to just go off to a point from there, is that is why I had mentioned last year about the Internet Archives, which happened to be in San Francisco. And I want to know more information about who's putting the information in, what is being kept. And I really wish you'd get some spokesperson on the show. I'll try to run it by again. I was given a person's name because everything that I was told when I was in school was, there's lots of information. You got to go look it up in the library. Well, now they're not even card catalogs in the library. There are hard copies of things, but libraries now everywhere in schools, in cities, are full of computers. So the information, let's go back to ancient times. The Alexandria, the great library that supposedly was burned and looted in Alexandria in ancient times. And that was supposedly a storehouse of knowledge. So what information that was in there did we lose? And that the same thing can be asked for today. What is being archived in the Internet? Who is controlling that? And as I always say on this program, if I ran things, the government's supposed to work for us, and I'm sick and tired of people, and it doesn't matter what party you are, getting in and making a career out of it. That's not what it was intended to be. And the same thing applies to the Internet, that they're trying, again, we fought this, thousands of people, 1 million people sent to the FCC. We don't want 2 lanes on the Internet, or fast lane. The Internet is equal for everybody, equal information. Well, now some of the big corporations are trying to do a side run and sneak around that ruling and trying to get some other stuff going on to try to make it that they can pay a little extra and have a superior, faster, and maybe more hardened, so it doesn't drop off like your program does occasionally, Internet. And we have to rise up and stop this, because the Internet is we've talked about it on the show. It's one of the last bastions of free information in the world now.
Yeah, and I want to announce to everybody here, I see what's going on with the show allegedly dropping. Look, This is an electronic world that we live in. And the interference that could be going on out there, it could be solar stuff. It could be electromagnetic. There could be problems with the internet out there, different hubs and switching systems. But here at Fade to Black in the studio right now, our connection has never dropped. I'm talking about tonight. We are running at a ping rate as fast as we've ever run. And our counter and things have not altered. So we have run out of here a pure stream tonight. So if things are dropping, there's so many internet providers out there and so many different hubs and how things work. They could be having problems out there. But here at the studio, we're 100% solid. Okay, so if you have to reset or whatever, but I'm just... doing a little public service message out there to everybody. We've run a pure stream tonight. Nothing has broken, stopped, altered, slowed down. I have here in the studio, I have a meter that goes from blue to yellow, blue, yellow, green, and then red. Okay, red is almost terminal, and then it will stop. We have stayed in the blue in the ultra-fast zone all night long. Nothing has changed or anything. So there you go. So if you're having problems out there, it's not coming from here. There could be something that is happening out there somewhere in internet land. All right? Unless
that's the information you're being given, and what's really happening out here is they're dropping your show.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't want to get paranoid. I don't want to go there.
It matters not. Look, when we have today is show number 465. 465. Out of 465 shows, we've probably done 450 flawless. Okay, I mean that's it. So when you run this many shows over this many years live. And we've had, a great success every single night, night after night. And if things, go wrong once in a while, they do. I mean, they just do. But and
then also, Jimmy, there's the electronic karma of some of the people where we've dropped off at important times, like Richard Dolan sometimes carries that around. Linda Moulton Howe. We had, when we were talking about Montauk, I mean, some of those things are such, or when David Icke talks about the lizards,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Dracos and reptilians, then we seem to get a lot of drops. It's like the more serious the subject. I mean, again, maybe that's a Mandela effect, but I listen every night, and I remember certain times where certain really heavy, important, strange information was coming out, and boom, your feed cuts.
There you go. Thank you, Dino. Be safe out there, man, and we'll see you Friday night.
I'll be listening to you Friday. Bye.
Thank you so much. There you go. I'm going to take a quick break. If you are on hold, stay right there. This is Fade to Black. And like I said, man, we are running solid from here. So that's all I can say. Everything from here on out, it's all good. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. Tonight is a very special Fader Night. Open lines, because tomorrow night we're on the road. Friday night we're broadcasting live from Contact in the Desert. This is Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. More of your calls right after this short break. Stay right there.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Faded Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, very special Fader Night. Open lines all night long. Why? Because it's Wednesday and not Thursday. We've altered your timelines. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live.
Hello.
You're live right now.
Oh, it's me?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hey, Mr. Church. Yeah, there's definitely something really weird going on with the connection tonight. I mean, you're being dropped and like another show is cut in. Hey, I wanted to ask you something about that Mandela effect.
What's that?
There was Dan Aykroyd. Have you heard that one?
No. Go ahead. What?
Well, apparently now it's spelled AYKROID. Aykroyd.
Yeah. Why? What did you think it was before? AK?
Yeah, AK. I don't remember it being AY.
Okay.
I've never heard his name pronounced Aykroyd. It's always been Aykroyd.
Right. It's funny that you bring that up because I'm going to jump back about 2 or 3 years, and I went to type his name, right? And I get a spelling error, and I was searching it. That's what I was doing. And I couldn't get it to come up in the search. And then I typed it. I was like, something's funky here. And so I had to go to a movie, and, I picked out a movie, whatever, Blues Brothers. And I went, AYK. I did not know that. I always thought it was AKROID. I never thought there was a Y in the name at all. So I went through that. It surprised me too.
Yeah, I've never heard it pronounced Aykroyd. And the the mirror on the wall, and I wonder if it has something to do with possibly maybe like some sort of a psyop trying to make people think that they don't remember things right.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird. like the Sex and the City. It's always been Sex and the City as far as I remember.
See? Yeah, I always thought it was Sex in the City. I did. I don't know where it started for me, but as many times as I've watched that show, that I never, man, no, I always thought it was Sex in the City. That was pretty disturbing, but I guess everybody remembers it differently. But I thought it was Sex in the City. No doubt about that. But very interesting if it's a psyop where they get everybody get their heads spinning, right? Where they just start to question themselves, and you do it enough, then you start to question your own reality, and you just don't know what to believe anymore. That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
You remember, it was about a year ago when, about the dress, remember the dress? That people were seeing gold and black, and some people were seeing, was it white and black?
Yep.
The stripes?
Yep. I remember that. It was the images on the internet. And what is it that you were seeing?
Well, I was seeing the gold and black, but I guess they were saying that people that saw it a certain way, there was like something wrong with your brain or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and could that be a psyop? You know, and just really, so people start to question what they're seeing and what they're hearing, and if you ultimately get society not remembering their own reality and questioning their own memory, then you've achieved something. You know, wow, and then to be able to take that to the next level, that's pretty dark, man. That's pretty twisted. Thank you for the phone call. That's really twisted. Hey, what's your name?
Scott.
Hey, Scott.
I'm in San Diego.
Yeah, thank you for the phone calls. Read an email. Contact us through our website and the contact page. We'll get something out to you, all right? Give me your shirt size.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Scott. Great phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live right now. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Wow. Okay. Phone lines are open, 323-825-5045. We're talking about the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect. A couple of things really quick as I reset the phone lines. 323-825-5045. Russian oil production in March outpaced Saudi Arabia. I started talking about this last month. And this is according to data from the Russian Federal Statistics Service, Rosstat, and it was published this past Monday. Now, Russian producers extracted almost 10.92 million barrels a day compared to 10.12 produced by Saudi Arabia. So Russia's maintaining their number one status. OPEC members produced over 32 million barrels a day throughout the first 3 months of this year. In February, Saudi Arabia led production with a similar quantity, with Russia close behind at 10 million barrels per day. But what does this mean for us? You got it. Cheap gas is going to continue. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. It's Destiny.
Hi, Destiny. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good, and I just wanted to call in and say how much I appreciate your show and your chat rooms because you keep the trolls out.
We try. You know what, though? And thank you for saying that, Destiny. But, you know, the trolls only succeed if their goal is to just cause an argument, right? They don't care.
I know.
That's the only reason.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care about anything. They don't care about me or the show being great or the show sucking or this or they don't care about any of that. All they want to do is be able to come in and cause a fight. And if nobody reacts to them, they go somewhere else where they can, push some buttons. And here we just don't fall for it, so it's no fun for them here. It's just no fun.
It's not, because that's why I came over here, because I just came from a chat room from another program, and there were so many trolls you didn't even know who was real, And I mean, someone even called in and impersonated me and used my username, and then they just told me, don't talk about it, sassy. You're gonna beat a dead horse.
Yeah, but that's exactly it, and that's all that they want is to, start a fire, right? That's the goal. Start a fire. And here they can't. This show's been running for way too long, and the fan base is too big. The family is too strong, right? And we're just not going to react to it. I don't even care. I don't read it. I don't care. I honestly don't care. I don't care. It is, and nobody else does here. It's
good.
Yeah, we know. So Destiny, Mandela effect. What's on your mind?
Let's see. Well, I've had some strange things happen, like dreams, especially. Like I will dream I'm living in another house with another family, but it seems so real. And I can remember in such detail about the dreams that they're not like a dream, they're like a memory.
Right. And what about when you look at that, right, and you start to hear other people remind you of things from your past where it was a certain way, and now you find out that all these years later it's not the way that you remembered it. What do you think about that when that actually happens?
I think that they're purposely trying to drive me crazy because it does drive me crazy.
Sure.
Because I'm like, no, it did not happen that way, and they give me these strange looks, like I'm the crazy one. That is because then I'm taking all the heat. I'm the one that's crazy, but whatever. After a while, I just go whatever.
Yeah, I keep pointing this out tonight, but it's one that we all know. Okay, that's the thing, and that is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that line, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." That was the song.
That's right.
Right? That's the song. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my
neighbor?
Right. But
and something else strange? Now, I know it's just a rumor, but some people will claim it's true, that Mr. Rogers was an ex-Navy SEAL, and that he got tired of killing people because of that, and that he started his Mr. Rogers in the Neighborhood show to kind of make up for it because he wanted to work with children now to finally do something right in his life.
Shut up. Is that true?
No, it is true, Jimmy. Google it.
I'm Googling it right now, Destiny. Who told you this? Where did you hear this?
Well, I believe on Facebook and places like that. I've talked to other people that have that memory, and my own son actually. And we Googled it, and we know it's not true. We laugh at it all the time. Mr. Rogers is not an ex-Navy SEAL.
Wait, what? Now I'm confused. Is he an ex-Navy? Well, did they even have the Navy SEALs around back then? He was probably like a Green Beret or something.
I have no idea, Jimmy. I just don't. I just know that that's the rumor, but that it's not true.
Okay. Okay, you ready? Here it is. Rogers was born in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. He had one sister. He was a musician, had an interest in music, and he graduated from Latrobe High School and then studied at Dartmouth College. Transferred to Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, where he earned a BA in music composition in 1951. He was also trained as a general aviation pilot. He met Sarah Joan Bird in Oakland, Florida. They met in 1952, had two sons. In 1963, he graduated from Pittsburgh Theological Seminary and was an ordained minister in the United Presbyterian Church in the United States. He had an apartment in New York City in the summer in Nantucket, where he spent his time. Rogers was red-green colorblind. a vegetarian, and then he went to go work at WQED in Pittsburgh. And he famously didn't have a desk, only stuff. So that's it. He did that and went to from seminary school to television. And he was hired at NBC in New York City in 1951 because of his music degree. So there you go. No.
There you go. He was a wonderful man. He was not an ex-Navy SEAL.
I don't think he killed anybody.
I don't think he did either.
I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Wonderful.
Hey, Destiny. Have a great day. Thank you for the phone call.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. Fred Rogers was a serial killing, bloodthirsty, veins hanging from his teeth killer in the Army. Well, nah, or the Navy. Turns out, no, he was not. There you go. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Eric from LA.
Hey, Eric, how are you, man?
What's happening, brother?
It's all good, man. You ready for contact?
I'm about as ready as one can get. We are about as ready as one can get.
When you rolling out, man? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. We're getting all packed up, and about a week or 10 days ago, I was working on one of my bikes and opened up one of the hatches too quick, and some crap sprayed in my face and burned the hell out of my face. And but other than that, we're good to go. And
wait. So are you gonna be like Lon Chaney and have the mummy mask? You can have the mummy wrap on, or just heavy makeup?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you. Well, I don't do no makeup, but I'll tell you straight. I don't care if this thing burned my face off. I'll make it out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, you want to know? You bring up Lon Chaney, man. I'm going to tell you a funny or interesting story real quick. Out in the desert where I used to live out in Palm Springs, I was doing a big remodel on one of my houses one time, and I hired this guy named Gary Chaney. And he is Lon Chaney's grandson, for real.
Shut up. Did he look like him?
No, for real.
Did he look like him?
Seriously, he did a little bit. He's super tall.
Right.
This guy was like ridiculous tall. Really, really nice guy, though, and great contractor. And he told me this whole story about how the family's been screwed over. And I don't want to say the name in the studio because I'd probably get it wrong, but whatever studio controls the rights to all the, what was he, the Wolfman? He was one of these original characters, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the studio still controls it and like has never paid them allegedly never paid them like millions and millions of dollars in royalties that they owe them. And all but one member of the family just said, screw it, and has given up on it. But there's this one member of the family that's really pissed off about it and keeps going after him and just insists that one day he's going to collect these royalties.
Well, you know, the thing about Lon Chaney, and I'm trying to think Plan 9 from Outer Space, the guy that played Dracula. Well, anyway, all of those guys back then, they were completely taken advantage of. The success of The Mummy and that whole franchise that Lon Chaney, that's it. He built that, and he was never paid. I mean, he died in like 1930. So by that time. He didn't have a chance to taste his success. I mean, how old was he? 1883 to 1930. So 17, 47 years old, And
Jimmy, I would imagine, these guys didn't, I don't know, but I'm sure they didn't have, agents and lawyers and, this kind of huge representation that these people have now. They were probably just happy to get the work, and they had something put in front of them and they signed it, and who knows. But I would talk with this guy for hours, and he was telling me like in detail about what was going on, and he insisted that they had some kind of documentation showing that they were owed like some serious cash, serious money.
Yeah, Lon Chaney Jr., 1906, 1973. He was the Wolf Man. And then who was, Boris Karloff. That was the other, Boris Karloff. Was he, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, was he the mummy dude? You know?
Well, no, I think the previous guy you just mentioned, the guy that cast in 76, I think that's,
well, no, he was
guy,
definitely.
I knew his grandfather or something like that.
Yeah, Boris Karloff was Frankenstein for sure. I mean, definitely was him. And then, but I thought Boris also did the mummy. Huh. Man, I'm confused. Well, there you go.
He might have. But no, this guy's name was Chaney, and he said that he was the legit grandson of, he lived right in the same city as me, so he would always come up to the house to do his work. And
right.
He said that his dad had passed, and that the whole rest of the family had given up on it, but I think it was his brother or his uncle was still, like, had a thorn in him about it and was still intent on going after it, just because of the money involved. But, yeah, just a little bit of Hollywood trivia.
Yep, there you go. All right, well, listen, have a safe trip out to Joshua Tree. And
hey, brother, I want to say, because I may be wasted a good portion of this weekend here. I haven't had a vacation in a long time, so I want to say now, while I'm in good frame of mind, you and Rita and Les, the whole crew, man, what you guys do for all of us all year, it's amazing, Jimmy. We all see you put in the work, and you're staying humble, you're staying cool, and it's just it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing to watch you rise. I know what you're going to say. Oh, no, but it's true. It's a cool thing to watch you rise, and you deserve every bit of it.
Well, thank you, Eric, and we'll knock a couple back out there in the desert. Okay.
You bet we will. I'm an instigator. All right.
I'll talk to you. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip.
All right, brother. Bye.
Bye-bye. Les, are you there?
I am here, and how are you doing tonight, Jimmy?
Dude, I didn't want you to call in tonight. I wanted you to. I hear you. Don't you have a plane to catch in like 2 hours?
Yeah, I do. I have to be up at actually 2.5 hours from now. I got to be up, but it's Fader night, and if I can call in, I'm going to do it.
Sleep is overrated.
Damn straight.
Yeah, sleep is overrated, and you can sleep on the plane, man. You'll be fresh as a daisy. Are you flying into Palm Springs?
No, I'll be arriving at LAX at sometime around 11 in the morning.
And then what?
Your time.
And then what?
Dave, myself, and Laura London are meeting there at LAX, and we're taking a happy little road trip up to CITD at that point.
Oh, man. Laura London, Dave C., and you in the same car?
Yeah, I actually, rather synchronistic, I get to fly. I'm going to be at Midway, and we're connecting flights there, believe it or not. We're going to be on the same plane on the way to L.A.
Shut up. Wait. Oh, Dave who?
D.C.
Yeah, but I thought he was. How's he flying to Midway?
He's not flying to Midway. I'm flying with Laura London. She lives in Chicago.
Oh, I thought all three of you were connecting in Midway. That's what I was like. Wait. How's that working out? Okay, so that's cool. So you and Laura are flying in from Chicago together, and then
correct.
And Dave C. is going to meet you here. And then you guys are rendezvousing and jumping in a rental car and then heading out to CITD.
Correct. Man. We'll be there sometime tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Man, just have a safe trip, man. It's going to be so much fun. And our hopes of it being nice, cool weather have been dashed. We're back into, but you know what? I don't care. We're going to have so much fun, and we got a couple of cool surprises we've got set up for Friday night, and
cool.
Which I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, and we'll surprise everybody on Friday night. But we've got some really, really, really cool things lined up, and I just can't. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow. So
neither can I. It's going to be a ball. Yeah, but Mandela, dude, I've got my own. Did you not say, and you know what, at the very beginning of the show, remember the whole sheepdog and wolf thing you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's Sam and Ralph.
Right.
I swear to God, didn't you say Frank?
Oh, I might have.
Because I swear I used to say Frank. My wife and I joke about that cartoon all the time, and I swore I'd bring up the name Frank. There is no Frank. It's Sam and Ralph.
Sam and Ralph. I used to love that cartoon, which made absolutely no sense, by the way. But I loved it. I loved it. Hey, Frank. Hey, Ralph. Oh, I did say Frank earlier. Yeah, because I just said it right now. It's Sam and Ralph, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just said Frank again. Yeah, so I guess I did do it earlier. That's bizarre.
But you see, I was doing that too. Is that a Mandela effect? I think we've discovered a few new ones tonight, maybe.
Hey, why was it, and Walter just mentioned Boris Karloff as the Mummy. Why the Mummy freaked me out of all of the, when I was a kid, Frankenstein, it was cool. I thought he was cool. The Wolfman, I thought was cool. The Mummy scared me, man. And why is it that a mummy that is got a bad leg, one arm strapped across his chest, and he's moving so slowly that you could outrun him, right? You could run to the next county before he left the room. But yet, he was terrifying. Why is that? Why the Mummy? Maybe it was the Egypt part. And the coffin. I don't know, man.
Paralyzed by the mummy's curse, maybe? I have no idea. I would think that I'd see something like that, and I'd be, you see the puff of smoke and the outline of a less, and I'd be like gone. It'd be like a dimensional shift.
Yeah. Totally, 100%. But yeah, the mummy freaked me out. Plus Boris Karloff, his eyes, and. Oh, man, I miss those days. Creature features in...
Son of Svengoolie, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, on Friday nights in Chicago, Creature Feature. Was it Creature Feature or Creature Features?
I think it was Creature Feature. At least that's what I remember when I lived there.
Yeah, wow, that's... And you know what? We're at the end of the show. I don't even have enough time to look that one up. Creature Features. No! It's with an S. Holy crap.
Oh, man.
I'm looking at it right here. Generic title.
I guess we're both wrong again.
For shows broadcast on U.S. television stations throughout the United States in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Creature Features. Right here. Creature Features. See? Mandela Effect.
I'm telling you, we're shifting into something's going on, dude. It can't be all our fallible memories. It just can't be.
Hey, have a safe trip and get us out of here as fast as you can.
Yes, Jimmy. First, Jimmy would like to give special thanks to Jon Rappoport, all the first-time callers, and all the FADERNIGHTs who phoned home tonight. The executive producer is Rita Camarion. Special thanks to LJ3, that's me, Renee, Jonas, Mark. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Brother Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro by Spaceboy. Visit him at spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, syndicated on KGRA The Planet. And with that, for this Fader Night, Jimmy and I are out of here.
Go get some sleep. We'll see you in Joshua Tree tomorrow night.
Good night.
Les Johnson III. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe. We'll see you Friday night.